Hello, this is Snow Blossom, and welcome to the final video of February for my 2025 art project. If you're not sure what this project is about, I do have a video kind of going into more detail. It'll be linked in the description, but generally, it's how I'm getting back into painting this year, and pretty much I'm doing 4 paintings a month, one big one with a general theme, and then 3 little ones with like break-off themes. So for February, the theme is love, based on, Valentine's Day. For love, I was kind of like, oh my god, like, what do I paint? Like, because love is very, like, general. Like, I love a lot of things. I love my family, my partner, and all that. But I'm someone, like, for one, I have to think about the fact, our relationship isn't very public. Like, I would paint my partner, but we're just very private about it. So I was like, I don't really want to like out us to my whole family on Facebook when I post it. My second thought was to paint my cat Gabriella. She unfortunately, we had to put her down 2023 December 22nd, I believe. And, like, I'll go into more detail in the voiceover, just because it is a lot to talk about and way too much for right now. But I looked at a bunch of pictures, so my thought process for this one, because I'm, like, practicing different skills and stuff in painting, like, week 2 I kind of just focused on my color mixing and whatnot, and, like, using different colors instead of realistic colors. Week 1 of February, I kind of did a more abstract style, which I'm not used to, like the silhouette thing I did for Dave. So for this one, I'm going to try to go realism, which already, that's scary. But I'm also going to try to paint at least one cat, which is also scary. I'm not good at painting animals or drawing animals or anything. But I was trying to think of different pictures I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be a very cute picture. This one is not very cute. This one's very sad. So this is the day that we had to put Gabriella down. I just thought, like, it would be a very special and intimate picture for me to paint. I don't think I shared this photo when we took it, when I posted about putting her down, because I was like, wow, I look like a mess. And, like, it's also funny. In the picture, you can tell she's just trying to get away from me. So it's not very cute. So I was gonna, like, probably do this and then make her, like, actually cuddle me, you know? Make it an actually cute picture. My other thought was this one. I'm leaning no just because this picture isn't very clear. And, like, it's, like, you can't really tell. Like, there's just not enough, like, definition. And then there was this one. This one's another one where it's, like, it's so cute. Like, specifically in the second picture here, you can see, like, her little beady eyes. And she's just so cute. Oh, but it's, again, like, she's just in the shadow. So it's kind of hard for that one. Then there's this one I thought was so cute. This one I thought was so cute because of her little, like, toes. Look at her little nails. Oh, this one. So this is my favorite picture of her. This is probably one of my, like, 2 or 3 favorite pictures of her. Look at her. Oh my god. So that's, like, that's a good contender. But I feel like I use this picture a lot, like, whenever I, like, talk about her, I use this picture, really. So then I found this picture. This picture is very special. This picture is very special, because I'll go into more detail later in the voiceover, but that's little chunky here is Pam, that's Finn, and then there's Gabriella. They hated each other. So for them to all be in one picture like this in a row was so special, and I honestly think this is so cute. Like, I'll probably squish it together more, like, position it better, and then make it a little cuter. But I think this is going to be my picture. Because then it's all three of them, and I love them all so much. Yeah. Because Gabriella's story is so important to me, I decided for this video I'm not going to do it scripted. I'm just doing this straight from my mind and straight from my heart, just so that it's exactly what I want it to be. I feel like reading it from a script, it gets a little robotic, even if it is my words. So if I double back on a lot, it is just because I'm speaking it from my heart. So with my sketch here, I did end up changing the scaling of the image a bit just so it fits a little bit nicer in the canvas size. And then I also did a digital recreation that you won't be seeing because it's essentially the same thing. I just wanted to get my scaling exactly as I wanted it to be, even though it still ended up being a little bit clunky. I also, in the final piece, used a different photo reference for Gabriella just because this pose here, I can't even tell what's going on. It was confusing. Good news and bad news. Bad news first, I'm very behind. It is currently February 22nd, and if you know month lore, you would know that February only has 28 days. At least this year it does. So I'm behind. I literally just set up my canvas. But the good news, this is very good news. So for one, I'm like actually sitting somewhere. If you haven't seen my cleaning videos, I cleaned my room. Look at that. I cleaned my desk, which is where I'm sitting now. And huge upgrade if you didn't see February week 3. Got a tripod for my phone. And oh, my chapstick fell. I found my little easel. It was kind of hard to tell because of the space, but I found my art easel, so no more painting hunched over on the floor for me. This is so exciting. Now that all the technical stuff's out of the way, let's talk about Gabriella's story. It's hard to say where the best place to start when telling her story is because I saw her in two very different scenarios. So originally, Gabriella was I think Christmas present for my stepmom up at my dad's house. I did still end up naming her after Gabriella from High School Musical, of course. But they adopted her as a kitten, and all was well, as far as I could see. I was probably 8 or 9 when we got her, so I didn't really understand the situation back then. But all I knew was that Gabriella was kind of a jerk. She was very moody, she didn't let you touch her, and I just assumed she was mean, and that cats were just like that sometimes. As I got older and over the years, I noticed a rapid decline with her. Her weight would fluctuate constantly. She could go from looking like a skeleton one week to like the chunkiest thing on earth the next week. And it was kind of hard to gauge for me just because I was only going to my dad's every weekend and every Thursday, and then eventually just on the weekends, and then every couple of months. So it was kind of hard to gauge like how much she was fluctuating, but it was still a crazy difference. Gabriella also had an issue at my dad's where she would constantly be peeing on everything. She'd be pooping on everything. She would eat my siblings' toys and markers, and like it was just, to their perspective, she was just a bad cat. So in the early summer of 2023, my dad asked me this time that I went there if I would take her in. And he essentially gave me an ultimatum. He said, if you don't take her, we're leaving her outside and she'll probably get eaten by coyotes on the first night. He also said this not long after telling me that he would periodically just put her outside for a couple of hours so he didn't have to deal with her peeing on everything, which absolutely broke my heart to hear. So I immediately called my mom and asked, can we take Gabriella home? Like, I don't want to see her like this. And my mom, being the most amazing person ever, said, yes, like, let's do it. I cannot see that happen to her either. So probably within the next week, we took Gabriella home. It was probably an hour-long car ride. She did amazing. And we got her into the vets, I think, the next day. The vets did a general checkup, just gave her some recommendations, and sent us on the way. And we got her here, and after a bit, she was still having issues with her bathroom habits. And one of the reasons my dad gave me for not wanting her anymore was that he thought she was depressed because she was the only cat in the house. And if you know cats, cats love to be alone, so that's a little ridiculous. But after we noticed that her habits weren't getting any better, we took her back to the vets, and they did a little bit more tests on her rather than just a general checkup. And not that long later, we got the results back, and it turned out she was diabetic, and she had feline leukemia, which is an incurable cancer that is also can be spread between cats through their body fluids. Now, keep in mind, before getting Gabriella, we had 2 cats already, Finn and Pam. So this news, like, really scared us. Like, the fact that our other 2 babies could get cancer, essentially. It was very hard to hear. And as we had Gabriella, she had her own bedroom in the house, and eventually I let her explore, which sent Finn and Pam into a spiral. Finn and Pam ended up fighting for months because of her. They got so territorial, they really hated it, which is why this picture is so special. They did end up getting along a little bit. They could tolerate being in the same room together, but they would not go near each other at all. So with her diagnosis of diabetes, we got her on insulin, which I had to give to her twice every day, once at 7 in the morning, once at 7 at night, which was definitely a routine I had to get into. But she was doing so much better. She got special diabetic food. Her weight was, regulated. Like, her bathroom habits were a little bit better. She still struggled, but a little bit better. She was kind of old, not really. She was 14, as far as I know. But she was doing miles better than she was up at my dad's house. And then a week before Christmas, I got COVID, and I was essentially bedbound for a week straight, and Gabriella declined rapidly. So I thought I'd given her COVID because, as far as I know, cats can get COVID. And it scared me so bad. So we took her to the vets, and we got a call back that she had hepatitis. And I believe she had another thing I can't remember right now. But it was either that she had to spend a little bit in a cat hospital, which would cost us upwards of $5,000 to maybe help her or put her down that day. So I had to make the very difficult decision to have her put down. For one, I didn't have that type of money, and knowing that it might not work, I didn't have the money to keep it going. But I also knew it was just better for her. So she was put down on December 22nd, and it only took them 14 minutes to do it. Okay, so before I show you the final painting, there is a little bit more to Gabriella's story, which I just feel like I can't leave out. So you have to see my face again. So after we put Gabriella down, I took some time off of TikTok, and then I came back like a week later and I was like, hey guys, sorry for not posting. I just had to put Gabriella down, my cat. Like, I love her so much. She's amazing. I made a post for her, essentially. And then I get a notification. I believe it was a comment on my video, but it could have been a follow. I can't remember. That someone who changed their account name to Gabriella the cat and a profile picture of a gravestone did whatever, and it freaked me out. It sent me into an absolute panic. But even like the mind games that were going on in my head. I don't have evidence, but I'm pretty sure, and I think I knew from the beginning who exactly it was. And if it is who I think it is, I know you're watching this video because you're obsessed with me. And that arguably, not even arguably, that just factually is worse than anything I could have ever done in high school to you, so like get over it. But yeah, in the end, after 6 months with Gabriella, I spent probably, I want to say like $7,000 on her. Maybe more, maybe less. I can't remember, but I think 7,000 is a good general guess. And of that 7,000, my dad sent me at most 150 to help with bills. And I remember when he sent me the money, he sent me 75 at first. When I first took her in, $75, when he knew we were getting her a vet visit, which is like at least 300. When he sent me that first money, he was like, here's something to pitch in, like, I hope it's enough to help. And I was like, yeah, it covers the taxes on the vet visit. Like, sure, that's amazing. Obviously, I'm always grateful for help, but I could have still paid that bill without that $75, you know? So that's crazy. This is also the man who asked me to leave my job to help him take care of the house and kids when he was going through chemotherapy, when he has a wife and his wife's family, whatever. But yeah, $7,000, and this grown man above 50 years old could only factor in 150. But no, the 19-year-old, sure. Whatever. The whole thing just made me realize where my priorities need to be. Like, yes, it was a lesson on responsibility and knowing to take care of things and manage my money better, but it made me prioritize who was actually there for me and who was taking advantage of me. Because your only option being put her outside or send her to your 19-year-old daughter an hour away, that doesn't sound correct to me. Like, I don't think I'm crazy for saying that. That is not right. But I'm very grateful that I took her in. She had the best 6 months ever, I think. I think those 6 months were the best 6 months of her life. And I will never regret that, even though it did add some tension to the house. Like, she caused some problems, but I would never, ever take that back. Anyway, now you get to see the final painting, because I think that's it. I did end up getting, I wear this literally 24/7. This is her little ashes necklace. And I have an urn for her. Which, side note, my dad buried his dog in the backyard. He rents, by the way, and he's in, I think it's called a semi, where there's literally, this is his house, there's another house connected to him here, and there's another shared ground. Buried his dog in the backyard. So, to the painting. Anyway, after that, I don't know, breakdown. If you watched this far, thank you so much for watching, and if you're ever interested to see better pictures of my paintings, go check out my Linktree. It has my Kara, my Tumblr, my Instagram, whatever. Check that out. And thank you so much for watching again. Goodbye!